Long ago in the very first pages of history, there were two brothers, Cain and Abel. They were the sons of Adam and Eve, the very first humans to walk the earth. The world was still young, full of mystery and untouched beauty. Cain, the older of the two, worked the land. His days were spent planting seeds, tending crops, and harvesting fruits and vegetables. Abel, on the other hand, cared for animals. He raised sheep, watched over them, and made sure they were healthy and well-fed. Though they were brothers, their paths in life were very different. One day, they both decided to bring an offering to God, a way to show love and gratitude. Cain gathered some of the crops he had grown. Abel chose the best and fattest of his sheep, the ones he valued most. He didn't bring leftovers. He gave God the very best he had. When the time came, God looked upon Abel's gift with great favor. It was given with sincerity, sacrifice, and heart. But when he looked at Cain's offering, God saw something missing. It wasn't about fruits versus sheep. It was about the heart behind the gift. Cain had given, yes, but not with his whole heart. His gift was more of an afterthought, not his best. Cain noticed, and instead of asking himself how he could do better, he got angry. Really angry. Not at himself, but at his brother. God saw what was happening in Cain's heart. He gently warned him, "Why are you so angry? If you do what is right, you'll be accepted. But be careful. Anger is like a wild animal waiting outside your door. If you're not careful, it will take control of you." But Cain didn't listen. One day, while they were out in the field, Cain turned to Abel. Maybe they argued. Maybe Abel didn't even see it coming. But in a moment of rage, Cain struck his brother. And in that single tragic moment, Abel's life was taken. Later, God called out to Cain, "Where is your brother?" Cain replied with a cold question, "I don't know. Am I supposed to watch over my brother all the time?" But God already knew the truth. He looked at Cain, sorrowful and disappointed. "What have you done?" he said. "Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." Then came the consequence. God told Cain that the ground he once farmed would no longer grow food for him. His days of peace and stability were over. He would become a restless wanderer, always moving, never at home. Cain was terrified. "This punishment is too much for me to carry," he said. "What if others find me and try to kill me?" So God, even in judgment, showed mercy. He placed a special mark on Cain, one that would protect him, a sign to others that no harm should come to him. And so Cain left his home and his family and traveled to a distant place called Nod. He lived with the weight of what he had done and the silence left behind by his brother's absence. This story is one of the oldest in human history, but its message still speaks today. It's not just about two brothers, it's about what happens when jealousy takes root in the heart. It shows how dangerous it is to let anger go unchecked, and how important it is to look inward instead of blaming others. But even more than that, it shows something beautiful: mercy. Even after Cain did something terrible, God didn't abandon him completely. He gave him protection. He gave him time to think, to learn, to grow. It reminds us that while we can make mistakes, sometimes even serious ones, there is always room for grace, reflection, and the chance to begin again.